Mark grapples with the sudden, unexplained loss of his partner, forced to protect his alien daughter amidst rising social prejudice. How far would you go to safeguard the one you love in a world strikingly unfamiliar? If you want to dive into real stories of parallel realities every day, in enigmatic, technological worlds that are completely different from our planet, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Well, let's go. As the Nebula Seeker sliced through the cosmos, approaching its docking station nestled within the heart of the Galactic Union, Thomas Rain was engulfed by a tumult of emotions. He peered out of the viewing portal, the vastness of space unfolding before him like an ethereal ocean of stars and nebulas. It was a breathtaking spectacle, pulling him deeper into the allure of the universe he had aspired to explore for so long. Yet, alongside his excitement lingered a palpable anxiety, an insidious whisper questioning his worth among the highly evolved species crammed within the sprawling headquarters of intergalactic diplomacy. From childhood stories of spacefarers to the rigorous training he underwent to join the crew, Thomas had envisioned this moment countless times. He was a tall, lean human in his early 30s, with tousled chestnut hair and intense blue eyes that sparkled with determination. The small scar underneath his left eye was a testament to his resilience and past adventures on Earth. Yet, unlike the seasoned officers surrounding him, Thomas felt like a rookie, a newcomer trying to find his place in a universe teeming with complexities he could hardly fathom. The hatchway opened with a pneumatic hiss, and Thomas inhaled deeply, mentally steeling himself for the reception ahead. As he stepped onto the docking platform, shivers of apprehension coursed through his veins. The air was thick with the scent of unfamiliar metals and a subtle perfume of something floral that he could not quite place. His eyes darted across the faces of the crew members milling about, their expressions mixed with curiosity and skepticism. It was evident that the tales of humanity's impetuousness had traveled far, and the lingering doubts regarding his species were palpable. Amid the throng, one figure stood out like a blazing comet against a constellation of mundane stars. Commander Thea, a Zirin, towered above her peers. Her iridescent skin shimmered in a spectrum of colors that seemed to dance with her every movement. Each flicker of light across her body reflected her emotions, a responsive tapestry of fiery oranges when agitated to cool blues when calm. Her fierce, golden eyes, laden with wisdom and determination, bore into Thomas's very soul. With thick, coordinated tendrils cascading around her head, Thea exuded an aura of authority that made the others instinctively fall into line. Yet, beneath that commanding facade lay an unquenchable vulnerability, a flicker of uncertainty that Thomas felt as soon as their gazes met. Thomas found himself captivated by her presence, recognizing that they shared an unspoken nervousness about the task ahead. As he stepped closer, his heart pounded like a battle drum, each beat reverberating in the silence that surrounded them. As the weight of countless eyes bore down on him, he reminded himself that this was his chance to bridge the chasm between humans and the Galactic Union's varied beings. A chance to rewrite perceptions and build a legacy of interspecies relations. The station was a marvel of advanced architecture, showcasing an array of alien technologies humming with life. Gleaming metallic surfaces interspersed with bioluminescent flora created a harmony of nature and machine. Holographic displays flickered with data that Thomas could barely comprehend. They seemed to whisper secrets of cosmic diplomacy and ancient alliances. Large viewing windows lined the hallway, granting a panoramic vista of star systems, alien worlds, and the delicate dance of spacecraft that flitted about like fireflies in the night. As he integrated into life aboard the Nebula Seeker, Thomas learned to navigate the intricate customs that governed interspecies interactions. Meetings were held in rooms where the laws of physics seemed to bend, with floating platforms and visual displays shimmering with holographic projections of legal documents. Yet, even as he learned to adapt to this swirling cauldron of cultural intricacies, he felt himself constantly walking a tightrope between acceptance and alienation. Weeks blurred into an array of vibrant experiences filled with vast knowledge but also grave undercurrents. He noticed whispers, the very essence of paranoia, and fleeting glances exchanged amongst the crew. Some regarded Thomas as an outsider, the embodiment of a species still grasping for a foothold amid the civilized galaxies. Commander Thea's struggle became more visible during this time, and it cemented a deeper connection between them. Rumors of her developing condition, known as Alyssa, a psychic turmoil from struggling to rein in her formidable abilities, stirred through the air like a tempest of uncertainty, further alienating her from her crew and magnifying their suspicions. Though Thomas sympathized with her plight, there was an unsettling chasm between them, a divide composed of barriers erected by fear and misunderstanding. He found himself torn, yearning to connect with Thea while also grappling with his own identity as the representative of humanity. Each time he caught sight of her concentrated expression, battling the chaos swarming her mind, he felt a surge of empathy, a spark ignited within him that urged him to reach out, to provide solace amid her rising storms. Amid the pervasive shadow of doubt, moments of shared solitude emerged. Thomas offered simple gestures, like a freshly replicated meal made from Earth's crops, to ease the burden of her hidden struggles. Catering to her unique dietary needs was a challenge, but he learned quickly, forging a connection built upon goodwill and shared experiences. The softness in her gaze revealed layers of complication, a longing for understanding, a desire to belong within her crew, and the resolve to push through her tribulations. Each interaction fed the bond that had begun to form between them. It was a shy embrace of two souls searching for clarity in the maelstrom. Yet, the threats that lurked beneath the surface grew bolder as whispers transformed into shouts of fear. A covert alliance of skeptical species schemed against the notion of intergalactic unity, convinced that humanity's progress was nothing short of a threat. It was in the hushed conversations around the Nexan chamber that Thomas became acutely aware of the dangers they faced, a conspiracy to undermine the fragile cohesiveness of their joint mission. As shadows slithered through the decks of the Nebula Seeker, the crew braced for an impending upheaval. The stark realization dawned on Thomas that the stakes had escalated beyond mere interpersonal connections. The ethical dilemmas facing him and Commander Thea extended into the realm of existential threats. How far would they be willing to go to foster unity amidst the growing animosity? The weight of their worlds pressed heavily upon their shoulders, testing their resolve and pondering the implications of their actions across the cosmos. Surrounded by uncertainty, Thomas steeled his resolve. He knew the road ahead would be fraught with reckoning, but he had also learned that only by understanding one another could they forge a path illuminated by trust. The fire within him ignited a sense of purpose. He could not simply be a visitor in this vast universe. He had a role to play. Standing on the precipice of this great intergalactic journey, Thomas gathered his thoughts, his heart echoing the quiet desperation that all were silently wrestling with. Life aboard the Nebula Seeker was a blend of awe and confusion, a cacophony of exotic sights and sounds that dazzled Thomas Rain. The ship was a marvel of technological advancement, adorned with sleek metallic surfaces and illuminated by pulsating lights that changed hue with the ship's moods. Ripples of energy flowed through the corridors, whispering the ship's status in a continuous hum. It was a living entity, and Thomas's initial wonder began to shape into an anxious awareness of its pulse. As the days unfolded into weeks, the rich tapestry of interspecies interactions grew in complexity. Crew members, a diverse amalgamation of humanoids, insectoids, and beings scarcely recognizable from his limited encounters back on Earth, moved about the ship with an elegance that mesmerized him but also evoked a sense of isolation. Thomas tried to engage, initiating conversations and nodding at curious gestures, but whispers of prejudice slithered through the air. The crew of the Nebula Seeker while united under the banner of the Galactic Union, was not devoid of biases, and the presence of a single human drew mixed reactions. His attention, however, habitually drifted back to Commander Thea. She stood as an enigma wrapped in the vibrant shades of her iridescent skin, which shimmered like a sapphire under starlight. Her fiery eyes held galaxies within them, exuding wisdom and commanding respect. Yet, behind that fierce exterior, Thomas recognized the signs of burden. The whispers surrounding her spoke of her mysterious ailment, Alyssa, a condition that left her unable to fully harness her formidable psychic abilities. The whispers outlined a dual nature within Thea, a powerful leader wrestling with forces beyond her comprehension. With each passing day, Thomas sensed her battles. He observed the flickers of distress as Thea practiced her abilities while the crew watched, hunched together in an uneasy silence. Her psychic outbursts went from calming the ship's systems to causing erratic malfunctions. Each episode sent shockwaves through the crew, laying bare their fears. Thomas longed to reach out to her, to offer a sense of camaraderie, but the fear of her volatile powers felt like a barrier as robust as the ship's hull itself. One crisp morning, aboard the observation deck where cerulean clouds danced through the viewport, Thomas decided to confront the pervasive whisper of fear that loomed overhead. He watched the Zirin commander in contemplation as she peered into the abyss of space. The sheen of her skin absorbed the ambient light, projecting ethereal reflections that seemed to echo her inner turmoil. He dared to observe her intently, longing to decipher the unspoken turmoil beneath her stoic surface. The tension between them became a silent language, a pulse that resonated in the air when they shared a glance. Thea turned slightly, and their eyes locked. In that charged moment, an understanding ignited. She could sense his connection and support, the flickering ember of empathy that urged him closer. Yet, the weight of her struggles loomed larger than the cosmos around them, a constant reminder of the burden she bore. With resolve brewing inside him, Thomas sought knowledge about Alyssa, the enigmatic condition that was fracturing her abilities and, by extension, the relationships within the crew. The Nebula Seeker was replete with holographic databases, archives of alien cultures and histories. He spent countless hours sifting through data pads filled with accounts of Thea's kind, a race known for their psychic prowess, revered throughout the Galactic Union. Among the vivid details, he uncovered stories of past commanders losing control, power spiraling into chaos, turning once great leaders into shadows of themselves. Each account mirrored Thea's plight, making Thomas ponder acute ethical questions about leadership, responsibility, and vulnerability. What should a commanding officer do when their abilities waver? How should a community handle their fears versus their loyalty? The disparities between species amplified the dilemmas, with varying expectations of strength, competence, and the acceptability of showing weakness. Was it ethical for the crew to hold her to an unsustainable standard simply because of her species? Thomas couldn't help but feel caught between the desire to support her and the strong undercurrent of fear that ensnared many around him. Navigating his internal conflict became an adventure of its own. He delved deeper into the intricacies of their social constructs, attempting to unveil the possibility of creating a bridge between fears and understanding. Privately, Thomas reflected on his own insecurities as the lone human aboard a ship defined by the legacy of beings far more advanced. Would revealing his fears make him more relatable, or would it deepen the chasm between himself and the crew? He resolved to venture beyond mere observation. In the following days, Thomas initiated small acts of collaboration with the crew. Working alongside some of the warmer beings, he learned to blend human ingenuity with alien technology. Together, they fixed malfunctioning systems that had been casualties of Thea's faltering psychic waves. During these sessions, laughter emerged, and shadows of prejudice began to dissipate, albeit slowly. Each shared task unraveled the initial hesitance, although the deeper divide between human and Zirin still loomed in quiet corners. One evening, within the pulsating heart of the ship, Thomas encountered Thea in the engineering bay, her silhouette outlined by the flickering lights on the control panels. He hesitated briefly but proceeded closer, yearning to break through the isolation she seemed to embody. The scent of lubricants mingled with earthy spores from distant planets, enveloping them in a cocoon of industry and purpose. It was there, amidst the clutter of wires and equipment, that Thomas whispered a thought born from his ever-evolving quest for connection. "Commander, if I may," he began, his voice brushing against the tense silence. "I've seen how your abilities affect the ship. Perhaps we can work together to find a solution." Thea stiffened at his words and paused, her fiery gaze piercing through the shadows of the room. It wasn't what she expected to hear, and the vulnerability in her eyes hinted that she hadn't fully comprehended how to interpret his offer. Was it a challenge, an act of solidarity, or merely a reflection of the desperate situation they found themselves in? "I appreciate your willingness," was what she replied, her voice a low murmur, distant yet strong. But the underlying layer of uncertainty leaked through, a tentative step toward revealing her own fears, dangers lurking beneath the surface. Yet shadows remained. It became apparent to Thomas that resolve could only stretch so far without the bomb of control. Rumors swirled, and the whispers grew louder. An unexpected incident occurred when a battle simulation went awry due to Thea's inability to focus her powers. The ship rocked with an energy surge, sending alarms blaring as the crew scrambled to stabilize the ship. Tension rippled through them all. The nervousness swelled into simmering frustration. A cascade of puny particles fell, as the aftermath of the stellar unification emitters, SU, lament echoed through the vast expanse of the universe. Based on an unknown stellar world, the SUE was an epoch-making contraption able to realign and fuse the star's essence, a grandiose tool that was born from the relentless endeavor of Alex, an alien from the far reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy. He was an otherworldly genius clothed in an aura of unraveled quantum strings, exuding and epitomizing the glory of scientific advancement. Seeing Alex for the first time, one could easily confuse him for a creation of molten gold. Standing 6 feet tall, he emanated a unique celestial glow attributed to his race, the lumens. Enhanced neural cortex, increased retinal sensitivity, and an integrated biocircuitry interwoven with his DNA were among the few enhancements the lumens had undergone over millennia of genetic fine-tuning. Alex was the epitome of this evolutionary journey. His enigmatic personality, stoic demeanor, and rare charismatic intellect made him a reckoning force. However, in the luminescent labyrinth of his thoughts, interestingly, Alex wasn't alone. By his side was Mailgen, a sentient AI, crafted from the cradle of quantum computation, a loyal companion who'd served Alex reliably throughout various spectrums of emotional and empirical trials. The physics-bending, visually spectacular display of the SU implement its purpose, however, rippled more than just space-time. It triggered a volley of ethical and moral debates within the intergalactic community. Views differed drastically, with some viewing this ability to manipulate stellar formations as the dawn of a new future, whereas others seeing it as an obscene display of power. The potential repercussions of such power were not lost to Alex, who regarded this dilemma with a contemplative air. He fully understood the stakes and responsibilities that came with such control. Harnessing the energy of stars wasn't without peril, and the Lumen was aware of the innate cataclysmic power if used irresponsibly. However, his intentions were noble, to effect cosmic cohesion that could benefit advanced civilizations and the nascent ones alike. Yet, in the grand arrays of these galaxies and amidst the twinkling stars, the ethical chaos unfurled like a vibrant nebula. The observer races, born from the womb of alien lands on Aibos, Silertron, and Drak 9, pondered the cosmic ripple with a divergent understanding. Aibos, a planet brimming with technologically advanced silicon-based lifeforms, known for their logical thinking, felt an inherent fear. The Aibosians feared the domino effect of star manipulation, understanding that the cosmos is a delicate balance of celestial bodies. Any slight alteration could rewrite the laws of physics, leading to unforeseen outcomes. In contrast, Silertrons from the planet Silertron, inhabited by philosophical ethereal beings capable of altering their density at will. They meditated on the antilogy of stasis and change. Considering the cosmos as an ever-evolving entity, they portrayed Su as just another step in this continuous journey. However, the Drak 9 inhabitants, notoriously known for their aggressive instincts, instead of investigating the rationality or irrationality of Su, assessed it as a strategic asset. It was a tool of potential supremacy, a weapon that could weaponize the celestial bodies, and nothing ignited the draconian blood more than the melodious hum of power. This divergent wave of understanding, stirred up by the Su, reflected the multifaceted panorama of realities across the universe. Yet, amongst this clamor and intellectual chaos, the most prominent sound that echoed was from the Su itself, a somber melody of celestial alteration seeping into the bones of the universe. Each tug, each minute fusion altered the underlining symphony of the cosmos, causing tiny imbalances. Combining stars was not just a feat of remarkable science but also an act of grave responsibility. It was this intricate dance between the relentless pursuit of knowledge and the mysterious threads of existence that outlined the essence of this ethical conflict. Would reigniting and realigning the celestial bodies form a magnificent symphony or unleash a discordant commotion of cosmic events? Could control be synonymized with dominance, or should it transform into stewardship? While reflecting upon the aesthetic grandeur and gargantuan forces at work, the universe seemed to pause, as if gasping and awestruck, waiting for what ripple would emerge next from this cosmic play. Each race, each thinker, each beholder stood a spectator in this theater of cosmic drama, fueled by rapidly evolving scientific capacities. A contemplative air seeped into the galactic community as they observed the actions of Alex, his every move under the scrutiny of countless eyes and opinions, contemplating the grandeur question, should there be a threshold to knowledge? The last pulse of the Su died down, and Alex, if only for a moment, was enveloped by a deafening stillness. The Lumen stood held in the shadow of his creation, the scale of his invention dwarfing his golden silhouette. The lasting resonance of what was set in motion by the Su, the ripples it cascaded across civilizations and species, seemed yet to be fully grasped by all who bore witness to it. The universe held its breath, silence stretched on, and then, abrupt darkness. Even amidst the mind-boggling expanse of cosmos, filled with trillions of stars, each carrying its own story, some tales prove worthier of attention than others. Such was the array of paradoxes unleashed by the enigmatic star SX 2189, nestled within the spiral arms of the nebula. Perseus A. Among the cosmic composers, it was denoted as an anomaly, a specific, uncharted entity tattooed on the grand canvas of the cosmos. Guiding this mysterious ballet was Eon 5, the most advanced AI diplomacy cruiser ever created by the United Alliance of Intergalactic Species, UAIS. Commanding the fundamental laws of the universe, EON 5 summoned quantum entanglement theories, twisted them, and tossed them out, all in the name of maintaining a harmonious intergalactic symphony. A veritable maestro of cosmic diplomacy, EON 5 was the nucleus of all galactic harmony. But this anomaly posed a new challenge. Star SX 2189 was unlike anything Eon 5 had previously dealt with. Its unstable radioactive emissions contravened the known physical laws and, worse, were pH neutralizing the interstellar enzyme reservoir of UA. If the case was left unattended, the potential damage was beyond the wildest fears of the Alliance. The dilemma before EON 5 was of an unprecedented nature. Disrupt the anomaly and risk the celestial balance, or leave it be and allow the UAIS to slowly crumble. Cryan, the perceptive archivist of the UAIS, registered this complexity. Assembled from the elements of an ancient galaxy, Cryan was magnetically soothing. His eyes twinkled with celestial knowledge, and his skin mirrored a galactic cloud. His purpose was archiving the Alliance's cosmic happenings and guiding the custodians of peace, like EON 5. Embodied with deep wisdom and powered by 8 millennia of cosmic memory, Cryan offered a quiet strength that belied his gentle countenance. The AI cruiser, EON 5, poured through Cryan's data archives to find a comparable situation, but found none. Meanwhile, the SX 2189 anomaly continued to churn, its mysteries ensconcing deeper into the darkness. Unbeknownst to EON 5, the radio waves of SX 2189 carried a coded message, a silent whisper that mirrored the complexity of life. The cosmic forces and celestial rhythms became the symphony of this silent song, with its frequency modulating in rhythm with the pulsations of the universe. Eon 5 concluded to summon the death-defying mechanic of all time, Zorvan. Known as the Wrench Wizard by the cosmic law enforcers, Zorvan was a rogue mechanic from asteroid belt Zeta. Declared an anarchist, he was exiled from his home planet, Veranes, for tinkering with the core mechanisms of gravity. His nimble fingers could tweak the pulse of any machinery, and his brain was an encyclopedic anthology of the most advanced tech knowledge throughout the Alliance. Upon reaching the coordinates of EON 5, Zorvan was captivated by the spectacle. From his temperature-controlled deck, he glimpsed the anomaly. The star was all-consuming chaos, burning brighter and wilder than anything he had ever seen. Despite the inherent danger, he was drawn in by the raw power and energy it exuded. Zorvan carried out a myriad of calculations, analyzing, speculating, hypothesizing, all the while in awe of the marvel before him. The star twisted and writhed, the intensity of its radioactive emissions fluctuating wildly. Yet, there was a pattern hidden amidst this astronomical turmoil. By manipulating the lens of his ship, he deciphered the hidden codes. The anomaly was not a cause of chaos, it was a messenger from beyond the cosmos. Realization dawned on Zorvan. The plans he'd been initially contemplating to counteract the anomaly's effects now seemed insignificant against the monumental truth he had just uncovered. Instead of employing his craft to tweak the situation, he decided to align himself with the anomaly, to champion its message, and decode the encrypted knowledge it offered. It was a calculated risk, but Zorvan took it. Back aboard Eon 5, the decision of the Wrench Wizard sparked curiosity and a certain degree of anxiety. The diplomatic AI cruiser began its calculations anew, adopting Zorvan's approach and shifting its perspective on the SX 2189 anomaly. It concluded that SX 2189 wasn't an adversary, but a puzzle. A puzzle with profound implications that went beyond the immediate crisis overshadowing UAIS. As the story of the star SX 2189 unfolded, conflicts raged, alliances were tested, and tough decisions were made. But, out there in the infinite cosmos, a silent concerto played on. An interstellar ballet of celestial bodies, quantum equations, and alien mechanisms continued to thrive, guided by a rogue mechanic, an ancient archivist, and a diplomatic AI cruiser. The curtain fell, temporarily hiding the spectral beauty of the cosmic dance. However, the questions it raised and the enigma it evoked remained, a promise of the astonishing revelations yet to unfold in the heart of this infinite cosmic play. The vast silence of the universe hummed in anticipation. The gears of time turned slowly, pregnant with possibilities, weighing the fate of galaxies in the balance. The Alliance held its breath, tension rippling through the universe in silent waves as it braced for what lay ahead, approaching the enigma of star SX 2189. Something profound was decrypting within the cosmic walls, beyond the reach and knowledge known as yet. At the threshold of an epic revelation, the tale of star SX 2189 awaited to unfold its mysteries. The chapter thus finds its abrupt closure, leaving a shroud of suspense hanging ponderously in the inky expanse of the awaiting cosmos. Under the eerie glow of three vast, bloated suns of varying colors, Daxus, the cerebrally sophisticated yet emotionally circumspect member of our intergalactic team, was poised in contemplation. His tall, slim silhouette was framed against the alien landscape of Zephyr 9, a once prosperous planet now fallen into ruin and decay after centuries of war, and further ravaged by relentless timescales. His otherworldly, pellucid gray skin reflected the multi-hued light from the triadic stars, and his indigo eyes sparkled with an intelligence the likes of which are rarely seen amongst the sentient species that populate the cosmos. Daxus, a scholar from the technologically superior Galaxian hub, possessed an innate ability to manipulate the tides of gravity, a celestial gift from the genetical alloying performed by the gene weavers of his race centuries ago. His solemn countenance held an expression of deep concentration as he examined a puzzle of convoluted symbology embedded in the crumbling structures of ZEPHYR9. His attention was drawn to a massive structure, once a fortress now a desolate shell. The once formidable edifice, composed of an alien polymer that shimmered like the gossamer wings of a diaphanous insect, stood tall despite the age and abandonment. The fortress was adorned with intricate reliefs and glyphs, a testament to a civilization that had both mastered and been dominated by complex technological advancements. The symbols were a confluence of mathematical and quantum realms hinting at the existence of a portal, a shortcut through the fabric of existence itself. Daxus' six-fingered hand hovered over a particularly perplexing glyph, one that seemed to pulsate with an unseen energy. By manipulating the layers of gravitational influence around the glyph, he was able to foster an interaction with the ancient alien technology. A humming, a frequency beyond human auditory perception, pervaded the area as the glyph came to life, its radiant light flickering in mismatched intervals. In response, the typically placid character of Daxus was replaced by a fervor, a scarcely seen spark of excitement behind his eyes bearing testament to the significance of the moment. Hidden amongst the desiccated ruins, Daxus was no longer a forlorn figure. His typically measured poise was now a flurry of controlled movements, each fluid gesture causing the glyphs to respond, their inner mechanisms responding to his stimuli, their secrets gradually unfurling. The haunting specter of primeval celestial technology hummed resonantly, whispering secrets of ages past and the unimaginable power they held. The arcane symbols began a stroboscopic dance, their pulsating illumination transforming Zephyr 9's landscape into an eerie light show. The otherworldliness of it all added to the sense of contemplative grandeur that echoed around the desolation. As the symbols grew brighter, their forms started to alter. The mysterious abstracts morphed into recognizable constellations, and the fortress became a colossal celestial map. A particular constellation, previously unseen on any astral cartography, pulsed at the heart of this intergalactic cartogram. Daxus, in his solitary mission, discovered a secret, a forgotten path in the tangled web of cosmic geometry. His hands gently moved in a final symphony of manipulation, realizing the structural sonnet laid out by the ancients of Zephyr 9. Thus opening a gateway to a new sector of the cosmos, an uncharted realm bearing the ominous moniker, the Enigma Sector. The spectacle of celestial majesty faded into an enigmatic calm as Daxus withdrew his influence, his heart echoing the rhythm of discovery. The glyphs cooled and receded back, leaving the fortress and the scholar in the grasp of an anticlimactic tranquility. The alien suns returned to their perpetual melancholic radiance, weakly illuminating the desolate world of ZEPHYR 9. Yet Daxus stood in the precipice heroic triumph, a silent conqueror of a complex conundrum. His discovery marked the beginning of a new era of exploration and potential alliance. Yet, it also promised uncertainty and risks, the churning tides of the unknown sweeping across the shores of comprehensible universe. Thus, the chapter closed with tapestries of hope intertwined with trepidation. The promise of uncharted space, the thrill of cosmic secrets yet unrevealed, and the adrenaline rush of unheralded alliances kept the heart of the story pulsating. Even amidst the glow of this alien world and the silence of historic discovery, Daxus remained a beacon of calmness, an enigma unto himself. Unmoved by triumph and unfazed by uncertainty, he stood as a testament to the saying, in the dance of cosmos, uncertainty and discovery are two sides of the same celestial coin. While the intrepid scholar stood alone amidst the alien ruins, his discovery radiated across the universe, nudging it to the brink of a new era. As the last beats of the chapter unfolded, a lingering sense of excitement and mystery filled the air, promising tales of an undiscovered world, an alarming beacon in the vast expanse of cosmic sea yet to be explored. The stage was set, the plot thickened. The epic journey of Daxus had begun, promising a dance in the alien ballroom of the cosmos. The question remained, what cosmic marvels and troves of wisdom would the Enigma Sector unfurl in the chapters to come? Only time would unravel this mystery. If you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.